by a speech by Larry Lynch, our President Hall of Fame member.
Thanks very much, Royce. It certainly is a great privilege and an honor to be part of the induction program today. I was on the other end last year, and it was, I can tell you, I know exactly how all these people feel today. It's just the greatest softball honor you can possibly find yourself as a part of. And to people like Hal, Blue, Gordy Wise, my sincere congratulations today. Dougie Chase, I think everything that Kelly said is the absolute truth. I had the opportunity not to play against him, but coach against his teams for years. And he was the most dominant player on his team, and as a Canadian, he was the anchor of our national team in our glory years of the 90s for sure. And tough act to follow, and certainly a class act. So it was always a pleasure coaching against your teams. Even better when we beat Victoria the odd time, but we didn't beat the Farm ever with him behind the plate. So, and finally, Denny Brucker. We've been adversaries on the field for 2 decades, and we've always been friends. Played some great games. Traveled to Decatur. We were actually, Waterloo was the first team that brought Decatur out of the woods there and into Ontario. And this year, I'm very proud to be part of the coaching staff with Denny's team. So it is a tremendous honor, Denny, to be part of your group. Today, though, if today you wanted to know the results of an ISC qualifying tournament, a fastball tournament in Australia or the other side of Ontario, what would you do? You check out Al's fastball list. Today we recognize Al Doran and his contribution to our game and the ISC. Al Doran's name is synonymous with fastball all over the world. Al is president of Phoenix Management International, a Toronto-based management. Is there an echo in here, or is that me? Am I too close to this mic? Maybe not. Al is president of Phoenix Management International, a Toronto-based management consulting firm specializing in the effective use of technology in the management of human resource information. Until 1996, Al was Director of Human Resources Management and Payroll at York University, Toronto. Al has 40 years of experience in the design, development, and application of computer-based information systems. He is the co-author of 3 human resources management systems books. These books are used by just about every college and university in Canada and human resource management program, as well as many colleges in the United States and globally. He is past president of the International Association of Human Resource Information Management. He is also on the executive of the Human Resource Management Systems Professional Association. Al writes for a number of human resource and payroll publications. He is an international speaker. In fact, Al was a keynote speaker in Beijing, China in 2003 for their large EHR conference. Al moderates the fastball discussion group, Al's Fastball List, which reaches over 4,000 fastball, softball, or fast-pitch softball fans and 60 media outlets daily. Al's been involved in softball for most of his life, but prefers to be called a fan rather than a former player or coach. His first exposure to softball was in his hometown of Windsor, Nova Scotia, which later hosted the Canadian Senior Men's Championships in 1998, and which Al attended as a fan. Al played recreation ball as a teenager and intersection softball during his days in the Royal Canadian Air Force. He picked up his love of game later in life when he arrived in Aylmer, Quebec in the early 80s, played mixed modified in a 36-team community league. He also did some coaching of both boys and girls softball in Toronto in the 70s and 80s. Over the years, Al has followed the quality men's fastball, getting really interested in the late 80s when he lived at Nepean near Ottawa's Carlington Park, often visiting the park for the major tournaments in that area. On his return to Toronto in 1988, he quickly found the major tournaments where they were and became a regular in the park. especially in places like Waterloo, St. Thomas, and Napanee. But according to Al, his passion for the game peaked in 1994 when his beloved Toronto Blue Jays and all of Major League Baseball went on strike. Looking for something to fill the void, he heard about the ISC World Tournament being held in Summerside, PEI. He booked a vacation, flew down to the island to what he describes as his best tournament ever. 1994 produced some great games in the environment, conducive to enjoying it, thanks to the friendly, hard-working Islanders who put on a spectacular event. 10 days of nothing but fastball, great people, fantastic weather, convinced Al there was no need to ever go back to baseball. By the spring of 1995, Al was all set for another great year of ball. But one of the things he noticed was that it was extremely difficult to find out what was happening in the men's fastball world. He subscribed to the Fastest Chronicle while in Summerside the previous summer, and it gave him the dates of some of the big tournaments. But getting results quickly for those tournaments was frustrating, and even more so, it was almost as impossible to keep tabs on upcoming events. Al took it into his own hands to make sure the use of the internet technology he had been working with for years, and decided to share what he knew with others. He did not have his own webpage yet, but he received cooperation from Ray Wood, who had started Slugger Softball on the web, and who posted Al's reports on a regular basis for visitors. Al went to the ISC World Tournament in Sioux City in 1995 and took his laptop computer with him. He took lots of notes, kept track of the game results, and burnt midnight oil typing out the reports, which he emailed to Ray in Illinois. And they were up the website the next day. 1995 was a great year for a Toronto guy, with Doran and Zach setting records that would never be broken, taking the Gators to the second world title. In the spring of '96, Al was invited to attend the kickoff meeting of the ISC Travel League of Eastern Canada. Al's work in promoting fastball had been recognized, and he was asked to stand for the position of Director of Media Marketing for the league. This was Al's first exposure to the organizing side of fastball, and he had some good tutors, including Roger May, now a close friend and regular pal in the stands at the tournaments. I am particularly proud to have nominated Al for his first role with the ISC Travel League of Eastern Canada. In 1996, under Al's guidance, the ISC Travel League saw tenfold increases in park attendance at league and tournament games throughout a concentrated marketing program. In '96, at the International Softball Federation Men's World Tournament in Midland, Michigan, Al acted as a media relations for Team Canada, assisting tour director Neil Fennell in delivering some game summaries and tournament results to the Canadian press for distribution around the world. Al also recorded all his information each day on the internet, often reaching media outlets and fans not generally covered by the conventional press. By then, Al had his own website, up, and as many as 1,000 people a day would visit his site from all over the world. Now that doesn't sound too much, 1,000 a day, but thinking about 1996, a lot of people didn't even have computers at that time, so that was a phenomenal thing. Al did not attend the ISC in Kimberley in '96, but this does not stop him from reporting almost 24 hours a day on the results faxed to him by ISC statistician Gary Bauman. In the winter of '96, Al worked with the committee to expand the ISC Travel League from 5 teams to 11. Working with the ISC, the Ontario Amateur Softball Association, and North American Fast Pitch Association, the expanded league emerged as an alliance of premier men's fastball teams in the province of Ontario. In August of 1997, Al attended the World Tournament in Victoria. By then, Al had developed his extensive list of fastball fan contacts on the web and sent out game results and summaries to them. Al's site had over 1,000 hits a day during that tournament. While in Victoria, Al was asked to speak to the set of ISC commissioners on the opportunities for marketing with an ISC webpage would provide them. Al encouraged them to set this site up, and working well in advance of the 1998 tournament. The ISC took that advice and now have a website that is visited on a frequent basis by all fans of the game. In '98, Al was chosen as a team leader for Canada's national softball team and took them to Valencia, Venezuela for the Pan Am qualifier. Al said this was the most significant and rewarding experience in softball. In '99, Al attended the Pan Am Games in Winnipeg, Manitoba as a fan and watched his beloved team win the gold medal. Al has helped develop many websites to promote major tournaments and to report results during those events, including 1998, 99, and 2003 Canadian Senior Men's National, and the ISC World Tournaments in 2000 and each subsequent through 2007. He's a fixture at all major club tournaments, taking notes, reporting scores, and keeping the world updated on a game-to-game basis. In 1999, Al was formally appointed as the ISC's website director, and as the saying goes, the rest is history. Al Doran is a pioneer promoting fastball on the internet. Al's Phoenix Fast Pitch page is well known for promoting men's tournament. It is a gateway to the fastball on the internet. Al maintains a large and growing list of internet addresses on his Al's Fastball list that he uses on a regular basis to share rumors, stories, signings, tournament results, etc. in all aspects of the game. Al has built a communication superhighway on the foundation laid by pioneers like Bob Tomlinson and his Fast Pitch promo. He's traveled the world to follow a fastball passion, and he has opened the gates to a worldwide information network for the rest of us to travel along. He is a caring and loving husband and father. He is a consummate professional and an avid fan. He's a visionary, a dreamer, a facilitator, and a doer. I'm very proud to say he is also my friend. It gives me great pride to honor Al Doran this morning by presenting him with the 2008 Bob Welby Award for his outstanding contribution to the ISC. Please join me in welcoming Al as his newest member of the ISC Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Larry, for those very kind and generous words. I guess you know why I picked Larry to introduce me. He didn't leave me much to say. I knew he would do a good job of that. I thought of him immediately when I was informed 1 year ago that I was going into the Hall of Fame. I can't think of anybody better than Larry Lynch to do my introduction. Larry and I go back to the very beginning, and as Larry pointed out, Larry nominated me for my first ISC job in the Travel League, so many years ago, and I thank him for that. It's got me involved in something that I love to do, and at a time of my career that I was finding time to spend time on fastball. So thank you for that, Larry. Larry mentioned that sort of the turning point was 1994 when I went to Summerside. I sort of got my 101 in softball that year, fastball. I had a reserve seat in Summerside. I had booked it early through Mark Smith. Well, I didn't even know who Mark Smith was at that time. But my sister knew him in Nova Scotia. They were good family friends and ended up being on his team in 1998. But in any case, in 94, I ended up sitting beside two strangers in the front row who turned out to be Darren Zach's aunt and uncle. And that's where I got my introduction to fastball. I thought I knew a lot about the game. I'd played it. I'd coached it. I didn't even know who Darren Zach was at that time. And they said they were his uncle. And I said, oh, okay, I wonder who he is. Well, it didn't take me very long to find out. I sat with those great people for 10 days, and I think I can probably call myself an honorary Zach ever since I was adopted by the family that week. I got an introduction to a lot of ball players. Darren came and sat with us. A lot of the extended family came and sat with us. And over the years, whenever we're in the park together, I get warm greetings from them. They opened a lot of doors for me. Through the years, what I've tried to do is let fans like myself know what's going on in the fastball world. And fans include people who have never played the game, people who are still playing the game, or people who used to play the game. And there's a lot of them. And the problem was there just wasn't one place to find the information. So I took it upon myself in 1995 to start posting that kind of information up on the website that I had and other people had and share it there. And I had help from a lot of people. Larry mentioned my good friend Roger May. He's been a mentor right from the beginning. Bob McGowan, I wish those two guys were here today. I'd like to thank them in person. I've already thanked them, but I will again when I get home. They have been great mentors. Ken Hackmeister, he puts up with a lot from me, but he has provided great guidance. And believe me, folks, here in this room today, we're so lucky to have this guy. He's my boss. I look after the ISC website. If I don't make it up, I make it my direction from him and only him. There's other people that tell me what to do, and I say, oh, that's interesting, but I run it by this guy first. He's the boss. I've had a lot of help from, like, I don't write a lot of the stuff that's on my site. I get help from a lot of good people. And I'm going to read some of the names here. I don't have them all written down, but I don't want to miss anybody. We got Zach Flash, Brian Bailey, John Thompson, who writes Diamond Dirt, Greg Leather, Rick Boyd, Dennis Dossman, Larry Kanks from Vancouver, Fred President, Kyle Bean. Kyle Bean is a ball player, but he finds time to get back home, get on his computer and write a game report or a tournament report for what his tournament is, how his team has done at a particular tournament. That may be the only report I get from that tournament, but I always look for it. Larry's another one. He manages out on the field, but he still finds time to report how his team did at that tournament. He also knows how to promote his tournaments. It's people like this who send me tons of information so I can put it up there for fans to read. Those are the heroes, and I'm here today because of them. I've also had a lot of help from people within the ISC. I've mentioned Ken Hackmeister, but a lot of the area commissioners, they send me information as well, including my own commissioner, Colin Smith from the Travel League, Joe Todd, the area commissioner from our area in Eastern Canada. These are the guys that are sending stuff from within the ISC. I look around the room this morning. I have a lot of friends here who have sent me information, who also send me encouragement to keep promoting the game and thanking me for what I do. And you know, sometimes it just comes at the right time. You're sitting there waiting for hours. You know that the last game has ended out in East Chibougamau or whatever a game is going on. The game's been over for hours. How come they haven't sent me anything? It's so discouraging. And then all of a sudden I'll get an email from somebody, Al, thanks for what you do. That keeps me going. You know, I don't ask for it, I don't expect it, but it seems when it does come, it comes at the right time. I haven't been able, I can't stand up here and talk about a lot of game experiences like Doug Chase just did. That was fantastic. Love listening to that, Doug. I had the pleasure of traveling in 1998 as the team leader for Team Canada, and Doug was on that trip, and with Terry Bader as the coach. And Terry Bader threw me under the bus one day, sent me to the team managers meeting, and remember, never forget the look on Denny Brucker's face. Denny was the opposition. He was a coach of Team USA, our boys. And I had to stand up as the managers meeting, team managers, and I said, Team Canada has a challenge. Who's this picture, Michael White? Is he an American? And the look on Denny's face. And he says, now I know why Terry didn't come to the meeting, he sent you. The very next year, Denny must have remembered that because he emailed me and he said, would you travel with us through Ontario as we're doing the Ontario tour? They did a warm-up. They took the Team USA through Ontario, and I had the pleasure of traveling with them as a team member on Team USA. So it was Team Canada in '98, Team USA in '99, at least until we got to Winnipeg, and I put the red back on. But I appreciated that. And at the end of the year, Don Tricker, head coach of Team New Zealand, invited me to New Zealand, and I traveled with them New Zealand, Australia, did the Oceanic tournament there, back to New Zealand for the first tournament of the year in '99. So I've had some time in the ballpark traveling with teams, so I just can't stand here and talk at length about those experiences, but I love hearing them. In any case, I'm going to wrap it up very quickly here. A lot of people to thank, and those are the people who send me the information. But in sort of to wrap up, one of the tournaments I go to each summer that I really enjoy is the Moncton tournament. It's a fantastic tournament, one of the best weekend tournaments. For the first time this year, they had a lot of rain. And, you know, that's so depressing to a team tournament director. And for me, because I'm sitting there with nothing to report. And so quite often I just come out and sit under an umbrella and wish that the ball would start again. And out of nowhere, that weekend, at least a dozen people walked up, didn't introduce themselves. I don't know their names. And said, Al, I follow your website and really appreciate what you do. And in closing, I'd like to say, I really appreciate what you do, and that is read the website. And I thank Charlie and the ISC for nominating me and selecting me here today. And it's such a pleasure to be going in with these other 5 individuals. Thank you.